Hello everyone, I am again before you with the new topic. In the last class we have discussed the light chapter, and in light chapter in the last class we have discussed about mirrors and types of mirrors. We have even discussed about the definition of mirror and types of mirrors definition also. We have discussed two types of mirrors. One was plane mirror. One type of mirror was plane mirror. The second one was spherical mirror. The second one was spherical mirror. We have discussed about the plane mirror's definition, which means that plane mirror is an optical instrument whose surface is flat. I have brought a plane mirror to show you people. Okay, see, this is the plane mirror in which you see your face, which is used in the laboratories, right? Or in the garment shop where you check in the trial rooms, especially in the trial rooms, okay? And even by the jewelers also. Even in periscopes also we use these plane mirrors, okay? So here, this is the plane mirror. You can see in the definition of a plane mirror we have discussed that mirror is an optical instrument whose one side is made reflecting and the other side is opaque. This is opaque. So behind this, okay, beneath this green color coating that you see, the red color, okay, behind this or beneath this you have the coating. It might be a silver coating or aluminium coating, okay. So they will do the coating and then that coating is protected by this color. So either in some you could see, in the some mirrors you could see it is colored by the red paint or green paint or a grey paint, okay. So this is the mirror, this is the plane mirror, okay. So now in this plane mirror, okay, in this plane mirror, you see, the plane mirror is represented by a straight line and this is the shaded part. This shaded part will tell you that it is non-reflective, and this above one, this one is the reflecting surface. This above one is reflecting surface and the below one, which is shaded by lines, is the non-reflecting surface. Okay. Now, whenever you stand in front of this mirror, okay, whenever you place an object, suppose if I place one point, okay, let me take a point object here. If I take a point object, okay, if I take a point object here, okay, the reflection of this, because I am placing this object, this point object, okay, let me take it as O. This object is placed at a distance of 3 centimeter. Let me take this as 3 centimeter. From here to here, from the mirror to the object, it is 3 centimeter. Okay. The reflection, when it is reflected, okay, when this is reflected, okay, when the light ray is made to incident on this, okay, so at that time what happens, where the image is formed, the image will be formed exactly behind the mirror. We'll get the image behind the mirror at the same distance, okay, at the same distance. Here, let me take it as O dash. If you check the distance, Okay, this is the plane mirror. So in front of the plane mirror, okay, I have kept this object O, and the image of this, okay, object O is seen behind the mirror, and that image we have named it as O dash. We have named it as O dash. Is that clear? Yes? Okay. So now the distance between the image from the mirror will be same as that of this object from the mirror. Okay? The object distance in front of the mirror is equal to the image distance behind the mirror. Is that clear? What is this image? If you have to define image, so what is this image? Image is the optical appearance. This is the optical appearance of the object. When the light ray falls on an object, that is, the light ray is reflected back, and with those reflected rays, the image is formed. Is that clear? Yes. So if you have to draw, okay, what you will do? You can draw a straight line here. Let the light ray be now the light ray is incident on the mirror from this object O, this point object, okay, O, the image, the incident ray, the light is incident on the mirror, okay, as it is 90 degree, okay, so the reflected ray will be in the same direction. If I extend those rays, it would be somewhere here. Okay. Now I'll take one more ray. I'm going to take it from here. It's going to incident at this point. This is the incident ray. From this point, I'm going to draw, because as and when the object falls here, okay, it is going to reflect. Okay, so it is at an angle. It is oblique. The incident ray is oblique, so it is going to reflect back. It is going to reflect back with the same angle of incidence. The angle of reflection will be equal to angle of reflection. So this is our 90 degree, right? This is our 90 degree. So let me extend this. Okay. Let me check the angle. It's 70 degree. So let me take 70 degree on the other side also. If I take it here, this will be 70 degree. Okay. So now if I draw, okay, this is our normal. Okay. Now the reflection is like this. The reflection is going to take place at this point. If I join .70 degree, right? Let me check. If I take 20, okay. So here I am going to draw this line. Okay, see here. Now I am going to draw this line. This is our reflected ray. And this line, this reflected ray, I am going to extend. Okay, I am going to extend. Okay, and this also I'll extend a bit. So they are going to meet at this point, right? They are going to meet at this point. So if the object is 1, 2, 3, then here. Is that clear? So the object distance and the image distance would be same, okay? Is that clear? Let me draw like this so that it would be easy for us to understand. Okay. If I take this as the mirror, plane mirror, M dash, okay, and center, so somewhere here, okay, I'm going to place the object. I'm going to place the object at a distance of 5 centimeter. Okay, when I place the object at a distance of 5 centimeter, okay, at a distance of 5 centimeter, then the image that is going to form behind the mirror would be at same distance, okay, would be at same distance. Okay, if it is 5, then here also the image is going to be formed, and this would be named as O dash. Is that clear? If the object is at a distance of 5 centimeter from the mirror, okay, it is 5 centimeter from the mirror, the image distance will also be same, okay. So the image will also be at a distance of 5 centimeter. The image will be formed at a distance of 5 centimeter. So if you want, you can draw one perpendicular line here, okay, and that will be following here, and one more ray here, and then reflected, and that would be joining there. They both will meet, both the reflected rays will be meeting at that point. Is that clear? Yes. Now the question arises, okay, this distance is same, right? The image is formed behind the mirror. The image is formed behind the mirror in a plane mirror. So there are two types of images. We call one is real image and the other one is virtual image. Okay, one is real image and the second one is virtual image. Second one is virtual image. What is real image? The image that is formed or that can be caught on the screen. The image that can be formed or caught on the screen, we call it as real image. Okay. Here, and the virtual image, that which cannot be caught on the screen or will not be obtained on the screen. Okay. So that we call it as virtual image. That is an illusion, just an illusion. Okay. Here, what happens in the real image? All the reflected rays are going to converge at one point. But here, the virtual image, the reflected rays appear to converge, or appear to intersect at one point. Okay. So that's why we call it as virtual image, or it is an illusion of the object. It is an illusion. Okay. Next. So here, as the image in the plane mirror is formed behind the mirror, okay, this is the image. O dash is the image. O dash is the image, and this is the object. This is the object. Okay. So here, what is that? One thing, the image formed, the first characteristic of the plane mirror is what? The image is virtual. The image is virtual. So what do you understand by virtual image? The image is formed behind the mirror. That means it is not caught on the screen. So it is called as virtual image. Okay, and the second point, the second characteristic is the image obtained is at equal distance, okay, of the object in front of the mirror and the image which is formed behind the mirror. The distance of the object in front of the mirror is equal to the image obtained behind the mirror. Is that clear? That means the image and the object are equidistant from the center of the mirror. Okay, from the plane mirror. If you measure the distance of the image and the object from the plane mirror, okay, so the distance would be same. Okay, the object and the image are equidistant from the mirror. Okay, object is in front of the mirror and image is behind the mirror. Okay, that is the second characteristic. Third characteristic. The third characteristic, if I take this instead of point object, if I take the finite one, if I take a finite object, okay, if I take a finite object here and I'll show the arrow mark, that is face is upwards. So here also, at this point also, you will get the image, you will get the image erect. Okay, you will get the image erect. Just understand the concept now. Okay, I'll come up with the problems. There we can discuss about like how image is formed. Okay, with the diagrams, with the ray diagrams we understand. So here you could see this is the reference baseline I have drawn. So object, okay, the object distance, the height will also be same here. So height of the object and the image would remain same. Okay, so here virtual image, as the image is formed behind the mirror. Okay, as the image is formed behind the mirror, that is virtual image. So all virtual images are erect, okay, or side up. Here if I'm going to stand in front of a plane mirror, I'll not be upside down, right? My hand, if I'm showing like this, then the same position, my fingers will be pointing upwards itself in the mirror. The image, in the image also, when I see the image in the mirror of my hand, it will be pointing upwards. Okay, that means erect. That means erect. Okay, so the image obtained is erect. Okay, the image obtained is erect. Here only shall I write? Okay, or let me write it as virtual and erect. Okay, the image is virtual and all virtual images are erect. Okay, is it clear now? Yes. Now, third one. What is that third one? Suppose if you stand in front of a mirror, okay, if you are raising your right hand, okay, if you are raising your right hand in the mirror, it would be opposite to you, the person, you will be opposite to it. So it seems that you are raising your left hand, right? That is called as lateral inversion. It is called as lateral inversion. Lateral means side, inversion means upside down. Okay, is that clear? Side will be inverted. Okay, yes. So if I am holding like this, okay, if I am holding like this, okay, lateral side. So if I am holding like this, okay, in the right hand, then it will show that I am holding this marker in the left hand. Is that clear? Only the side, okay, it will not be upside down, only the side will be changing, right to left, left to right. Okay, only the side will be changing. Lateral means side will be changing. Right appears left and left appears right. Is that clear? So that is the reason why the ambulance, okay, ambulance is written in a reverse direction. It will be laterally inverted. While writing, it will be written laterally inverted, because when you see from the mirror, okay, the rear view mirror, okay, when you see, then what happens? You can read those letters correctly, ambulance. If it is written correct in the normal way, then that would not be read correctly. There will be a confusion. So the ambulance, the word ambulance will be laterally inverted and it will be written so that when it is seen in the mirror, it appears correct. Okay, it appears to be ambulance. Is that clear? Okay. So that is laterally inverted. Lateral inversion. Lateral inversion. Is that clear? Yes. So what are the characteristics of this plane mirror? The image formed by the plane mirror, they are virtual and erect. The images formed are virtual and erect. They are equidistant from the mirror, that is object and image are equidistant, and it is laterally inverted. It is laterally inverted. Is that clear? Yes? I hope this is clear to you. Okay. Now, so we will discuss more during the problems, during the ray diagram of this one. Okay. During the ray diagram, whenever we start the ray diagram for the plane mirror, concave mirror and convex mirror, at that time we will be discussing in detail about this. So, hope you have understood the characteristic. Now, moving on to the next topic, that is nomenclature or the terminologies or the terms used in spherical mirrors. Okay, this is all about the plane mirror. Now we will see the terms used in spherical mirror. So yesterday we have discussed that there are two types of spherical mirrors. One is concave mirror and the other one is convex mirror. Okay, concave mirror and convex mirror. And we have also drawn and distinguished that the concave mirror, whose reflecting surface is bent in, so this is the reflecting surface and this shaded part is the non-reflecting surface, and this is called as concave. This is the concave mirror. And the other one is convex mirror, whose reflecting surface is bulged out. Whose reflecting surface is bulged out. Okay. So this is the convex mirror. This is the convex mirror. This is the reflecting surface, that is curved outwards. The reflecting surface is curved outwards, so this is convex mirror, and here the reflecting surface is curved inwards, so we call it as concave mirror. And this distance, okay, this reflecting surface is denoted by m dash, and here also I'll write it as m dash. This much is a reflecting surface. This reflecting surface m dash is called as aperture. Okay. So this aperture will also tell you about the length or size of the mirror. Okay, size of the concave mirror or convex mirror also. Is that clear? Hope this is understood. So here this is curved inwards, so we call it as, the reflecting surface is curved inwards, so we'll call it as concave mirror, and the reflecting surface is curved outwards, so we call it as convex mirror. Okay, so convex mirror, I have just brought the mirror of my vehicle. Okay, so this is the mirror that you are using for your vehicle. Okay, so that is the convex mirror. Okay, it is the convex mirror. There you can see that the image will be smaller, will be diminished, okay, and it will be covering the wide area. That we will be discussing during the image formation. Just to show you that it is a convex mirror, I have brought you concave mirror. So here in convex mirror, it will be bulged out. Convex mirror, it will be bulged out. Okay, concave mirror will be bent in. Okay, so I'll be showing you the concave mirror in the next video. Okay, hope this is understood now. Okay, so this concave mirror, so what happens in concave mirror? So concave mirror, so suppose if I draw the principal axis, we know the center of the reflecting surface, if the center of the reflecting surface is P, that is pole, here also center of the reflecting surface is pole. Okay, so now I am going to draw the principal axis What is principal axis? So as I said, this concave mirror and convex mirrors are spherical mirrors. That means it is a sphere, right? It is a sphere. So this sphere, the hollow sphere, has its center. The hollow sphere has its center. So the center of that, the center of hollow sphere, we call it as center of curvature C. Okay. Here also similarly, I'll be drawing a straight line passing through the pole and the center of this one. Okay. I'll consider here center of this one, center of this convex mirror. Okay, the spherical mirror. Center of the spherical mirror is center of curvature. P is the pole. Okay, and the line, the straight line passing through the center of curvature and the pole is principal axis, and let me name it as XY. Principal. Let me name it as XY. Let me name it as XY. Here also Y and X. Okay. The distance between CP, okay, the distance between the center of curvature and the pole is called as focal length. Is called as focal length. Is called as focal length. Okay. Is that clear? Hope it is understood now. Next, okay, if at all I draw the rays. So I was explaining, that is, if I draw the rays. Now the light ray is incident here. The light rays, the parallel beam of light is being incident on the mirror. Okay. So now these rays, this parallel beam of light is going to reflect as and when it is going to hit the concave mirror. Okay. As and when the light ray is falling, the light rays are falling on the concave mirror, the reflecting surface of the concave mirror, what is going to happen? They are going to reflect back. Okay, so they are going to reflect back. So if I take the midpoint, let me take a midpoint here. If I take a midpoint, if I consider this as a midpoint, that is, from there all the rays will be reflecting, all will be passing. After reflection, the light rays will be passing through this point. See here, this is the reflected ray, this is also reflected ray, and this is also reflected ray. You could see all the incident rays, once they are made to fall on the reflecting surface of a concave mirror, they are reflected back. And all these reflected rays are meeting at one point, and this point we call it as focus. We call it as principal focus. We call it as principal focus. So F is the principal focus, and this F, okay, is the midpoint of CP. That is CP. What is CP? CP is the radius of curvature. You can see here, as this is a spherical mirror. Okay, this is a spherical mirror. So as I said, this is a spherical mirror. Okay, these two are the parts of a spherical mirror. So these two parts have got its center because sphere. It is a hollow sphere. Both are the part of a hollow sphere. So sphere means it has got its center. So C is the center of curvature. Okay. So from C to the circumference of this mirror, or any part on the mirror. Okay. Any part on the mirror. So that will be the radius of curvature. So here CP will also be the radius of curvature because P is the center of this reflecting surface. So from the point C, center of curvature, to the point P, that is pole, is the radius of curvature. So CP is the radius of curvature, okay, and F being the midpoint of CP, and here all the reflected rays are meeting at one point, that is at F, so that we call it as principal focus. Okay, we call it as principal focus. Okay, and since all the reflected rays are meeting at this point, okay, they all are, after reflection, they are converging. They are converging. You can see that these are the incident rays. After reflection, all the rays are meeting at one point. All the rays are meeting at one point, and That means they are converging. They are converging in front of the mirror. Okay, so we call it as real principal focus, and this principal axis also we call it as real principal axis because principal axis lies in front of the concave mirror. Okay, and this C, okay, center of curvature, we call it as the real center of curvature. So here we have discussed about the real and virtual images, right? So in the plane mirror only virtual images. Why? Because the images are formed behind the mirror. All images are formed behind the mirror. So we only virtual images are obtained in the plane mirror. But here you can see, you can distinguish, okay, depending upon the position of the object in front of this reflecting surface of a concave mirror, the real and virtual images are formed. Here only in case of concave mirror both real and virtual images can be obtained. Okay, so here to define concave mirror, we can say concave mirror is the what kind of mirror? Yes, concave mirror is also called as converging mirror. Is also called as converging mirror. Why? Because after reflection, all the reflected rays are going to converge at one point, and that point we call it as principal focus. And the distance from this principal focus F to the pole, that is center of the reflecting surface, we call it as focal length. Fp is the focal length. Fp is the focal length. Fp is equal to focal length F. Okay, and it is denoted by small letter f. Focal length. Is that clear? Hope it is clear. Okay, so F is the midpoint of CP, right? So here F is the focal length. Is that clear? So now we have understood what is principal focus. Okay, principal focus is the point where all the reflected rays are going to converge. Where all the reflected rays are going to converge, that is called principal focus. Okay, and focal length is the distance between the principal focus and the pole is called as focal length. Okay, and center of curvature, that is from this distance from or the length from center of curvature to the pole is called as radius of curvature, and that is denoted by Cp is denoted by R. Okay, that is radius of curvature. Radius of curvature. As we said, Cp is equal to Cf plus Fp, and we also know that Cf is equal to Fp. Why? Because F is the midpoint. So now if I replace Cp is equal to Cf is equal to Fp, I'll write it as Fp plus Fp. Okay, so if I name this as 1, okay, so now Cp, what is Cp? Cp is nothing but R. R is equal to 2 times Fp. Now R is equal to, okay, now R is equal to, okay, now R is equal to 2 times of, what is Fp from 1? It is F. Okay, that is radius of curvature is twice of focal length. Radius of curvature Cp is twice of focal length, that is twice of Fp. So R is equal to 2F, that is twice of focal length, or if you want to write in terms of F, then focal length is half of radius of curvature or half times of radius of curvature. Is that clear? Hope this is understood, and you have got to know all the terminologies. We have discussed about the radius of curvature, we have discussed about the principal axis, okay, we have discussed about the principal axis, we have discussed about the F, principal focus, okay, and P, that is pole, and this M dash is aperture. Okay, if you have understood aperture is like if the curve is more, okay, if the curve is more, then the focal length will decrease because aperture is going to increase. Okay, if the aperture increases, focal length decreases. Okay, how? So you may get confused. And sir, how is that aperture increases, focal length we are not able to understand. Okay, so it's very generic. You can see if at all the curve, this is my palm, this is now flat. just like a plane mirror. If I am going to curve it, if more the curve, okay, that means aperture is also increasing. Aperture is also increasing. More curve, they both are directly proportional. Aperture and curve are directly proportional. Okay, and aperture is inversely proportional to the focal length. So if the curvature increases, then focal length decreases. Okay, so the focal length for the plane mirror is infinity. So if you are going to decrease the curvature, it is going to become flat. That means focal length is increasing. Okay, so if lesser the aperture, greater is the focal length, and greater the aperture, lesser is the focal length. This you should remember. Okay, I hope you have understood all the terminologies here. Okay, so these, and one thing you have to remember, that here in the concave mirror we can obtain both real and virtual images depending upon the position of the object. Okay, and object is always placed in front of the reflecting surface. Okay, and all the principal focus, the center of curvature, the principal axis, all are real here in this concave mirror. Okay, this is called as, the concave mirror is also known as magnifying mirror also. Okay, it is also known as magnifying mirror. Okay, is that clear? Now coming on to the convex mirror, it is again the same topic. Convex mirror, there is nothing different. Only thing is, you can see here the center of curvature is in front of the reflecting surface, whereas here the center of curvature is behind the mirror. It is virtual. The center of curvature is virtual. The principal axis is also behind. So again, the principal axis is also virtual. Right? So here the principal axis is real in concave mirror, principal axis is virtual in the convex mirror. Why it is virtual, sir? You may ask the question. Why it is virtual? It's because the center of curvature and the principal axis is lying behind the mirror. Is that clear? Yes. Now, since this is the reflecting surface, okay, since it is the reflecting surface which is bulged outwards, so here if I am going to draw the light rays which are incident on the mirror, okay, I'll draw only two rays and I'll show you. I'll be drawing two rays, so excuse me for that. Okay, so this is the incident ray. These two are the incident rays. Okay. So here, since this is bulging outwards, so what happens here? All the rays which are falling onto this convex mirror, all the rays which are falling onto the reflecting surface of the convex mirror are going to diverge. If I take the midpoint of this one, because midpoint of the radius of curvature is our focal length that we have studied there. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is 2.5. 1, 2, 2.5. Let me name somewhere here. Okay, this will be our principal focus. This is the point where all the reflected rays are going to meet. See, here itself you can see the reflected rays are meeting in front of the concave mirror. So the principal focus is real. But here in convex, what is going to happen? It is going to reflect in front of the mirror. Okay, it is going to reflect here, but the reflected rays are not meeting. They are diverging. It is reflected here, and when I extend those lines behind the mirror, it appears to meet at F. Okay, so this is the reflected ray. So as the light is incident on a convex mirror, it is reflected, it is diverged, the ray is diverged, and when you extend that line, you find that the reflected ray is appearing to meet at F. It is an illusion. Similarly here also, if I am going to draw the reflected ray, here, okay, so what is that? So this is the reflected ray, okay, and this is the imaginary line that I am drawing, okay, that is behind the mirror, and this imaginary line appears to meet at focus. Is that clear? So here again, so since the principal focus is behind the mirror. Since the principal focus is behind the convex mirror, so this principal focus of the convex mirror is what? Yes, since the this principal focus is also virtual. Okay, is virtual. Is that clear? Yes. Is that clear? Fine. Okay, so here you can see always the principal focus is denoted by capital F and focal length should be denoted by small f. Okay, so the principal focus should be in bold letters F. Okay, it should be bold. Okay, it should be bold. It should be in capital letters. Okay, principal focus is in capital. Okay, and focal length should be in lowercase. Okay, I hope that you have understood this one. Okay, these are the terminologies. Okay, so here you can differentiate here. The principal focus is real in the concave mirror and in the convex mirror it is virtual. Why? Because it is forming behind the mirror. Hope you have understood this class. Okay, so where we have studied about the terminologies, we have studied about the relations also with the principal focus and the radius of curvature, the aperture. Okay, and then principal focus and focal length. Okay, so we have studied all this. So hope you have understood this topic. Okay, so these ray diagrams you have to just look into this. You have to understand that whenever you are drawing the concave mirror, all the reflected rays will be meeting, okay, at or will be converging at principal focus, and so we call it as converging mirror. Here the reflected rays are diverging, so we call them as diverging mirror. Okay, and the concave mirror is also called as magnifying mirror also. So it is used by the dentist in order to examine the cavity, the teeth cavity. Okay, clear? Hope this is understood. So now in the next class, the next topic that we will be discussing in the next class would be about the ray diagrams, the rules for ray diagrams. Okay, those rules for ray diagrams, those rules are going to help us to draw the ray diagram so that we can see the image formation. We can see the image formation in the plane mirror, in the concave mirror and the convex mirror. Okay, so by this let us end this session. Okay, I'll be seeing you in the next video with the next topic, that is formation of the image. So thank you so much. You have a great day.